So, what's the first question? Can you like paint a picture of where you were in your career and life before we started working together?
I was at a place where I was a senior business analyst in IT. Um, and to me, that seemed like a glorified administrative assistant job, and or nothing was consistent about it throughout the company. So if I moved from one senior business analyst position to another, to the same, a lateral move to a different department, the job duties were all different. And when I discovered looking for another senior business analyst position to be 100% remote, most of the job postings require different skill sets. It became frustrating. Also knew that I didn't like analytical. I didn't like that part of the job. Um, so where I was figuring out how to get a 100% remote job while not staying a senior business analyst in IT and using my current skill sets to transition or pivot to another role. That's when you came, like we connected and you helped understand what role I should pivot in based on my current skills. Based on my skills. So that's where I was.
Thank you. And
You're
what
welcome.
made you decide? Thank you. What made you decide to invest in the program even though it was a big commitment? Like less about like the money part, but like what was like the final straw?
Travel aspect.
Sure.
That
What made you
that was
decide
no, I said the travel aspect.
the
That was
travel
sold
aspect?
to
Okay.
me. The 100% remote. I'm a huge traveler. It just was, and I knew it can be done. People do it all the time. I know they can either find a job that's 100% remote or they can figure out other ways to make money 100% remote. For me, I knew that I had skill sets good enough to get a 100% remote job. I didn't anticipate it being as difficult, even with the administration that we're currently in. Um, but I kind of did. But that's what intrigued me. I want to be able to have more freedom. Um, and that means a 100% remote job. It gives me that freedom that I'm looking for, even if I'm still with a W-2.
And you know, some people like technically I'm a W-2 contractor, but I could be 1099 or if I did my own thing. A lot of people think a W-2 is a trap, but like it doesn't have to be. As long as the job is
Mm,
paying you and you skedaddle abroad, then all your dreams can come true. A lot of people think, oh, I have to own
right.
my own business to be able to work and travel. No, you
Yeah.
can still if you got it like that and I help people get it like that, then you can have it too. So let's get into like some results. What was the biggest breakthrough that or win that you experienced during our time together?
Realizing that my analysis paralysis with regards to my resume was all mental because I had really been managing my own resume for years. Once you brought that to my attention and I received it, my mental roadblock dropped and to see my resume go from prior to now, just visually, just how it reads, how it formatted was outstanding. And the moment we updated LinkedIn and put things out there, the resumes, it was a obvious difference, positive difference. I was getting contacted without having to reach out to anyone. That you can't turn a blind eye to that. You can't mistake that for anything else. It was truly the experience that I needed or the process that I need to complete and get through. And that wasn't just yeah, that wasn't just doing it, just putting the hands-on work, but it was also the mental. I needed to I needed to conquer the mental space of it. Um and so that was the biggest point in my career coaching with you.
Thank you for that. And like I'm not surprised that the results were like immediate once we were be able to publish your new professional portfolio, like your resume onto the LinkedIn. Like I'm not onto LinkedIn. I'm not surprised by that, but it's still so nice to be like the changes immediate because a lot of people think this is just how it is. But no, if you do have the right strategy, it's like that. It's a whole different world to be reached out to for a job instead of having to put your resume into the abyss that no one ever calls from.
Right. I agree. Yep.
And
So
for the folks,
yeah.
yeah. And so for the folks at home, we got through a lot in terms of like laying the foundation. But there's still a little bit more to go in terms of landing the 100% remote six-figure job or and at least dignified wage job. But we're gonna come back and be bigger and better than ever.
Absolutely.
That just it just takes time. Like what you were saying before about the administration, like the job market. We can do the best that we can do, but we can't control employers. We can't control the people that interview us. So we just have to work on ourselves and be ready for when the opportunity comes.
Yes.
Woohoo! So let's get into the juicy stuff, which is, well, all the transformation was very juicy. Um, we've already talked about like the transformation, like the biggest breakthrough that you've experienced. And you also touched on how this has impacted your confidence, mindset. Um, I would like you to give some advice to someone else. If someone else is feeling stuck like you were, what would you want them to know?
You may have challenges that are obvious too. You may have challenges because we all have them. But if you're stuck and what you're doing right now and it's not working, you have to try something different. And there are people that are just better at things than we are. They're experts in it. They have the experience. They have the ability to um, deliver, right? Where you can receive. Um, Take a chance on yourself, invest in yourself. That means possibly working with a career coach such as Christina to get you out of that place where you're stuck. Um, and with that, that means being honest with yourself while being honest with your career coach. Um, be kind and give yourself grace. Recognize the space you're in and communicate that. And then you'll work together to conquer that mental challenge because it's mental. It's really, truly mental. Once you conquer the mental piece, everything else it will fall into place. Because what skills you have and don't have, what your weaknesses and strengths are what they are. They can be worked on, but they don't change overnight. But they are what they are in the moment. So many of us have a lot of skills that we can take that's transferable. Many of us have a lot of strengths that we can stand on. And you don't have to focus on your weaknesses. You don't have to focus on the skill sets that you don't have. Focus on what you do have and make the best of what you do have and figure out the best way to transfer that into something that you desire, whether it's a 100% role that's paying six figures or whatever wage you deem is livable for your current situation. Um, or it's and staying in the same career, or it's pivoting and doing something totally different. Just know that you have to put in the work to make that happen. So if you may be asked to take a class to get a certification or two so you can stand out. You have to be able to stand out with the competition. There's always competition in the job market. It doesn't matter how many more people are in the job market, it's always competition. There's always someone that knows more than you, that's more qualified than you. It's not about that. It's about getting the interview and showing them your personality and showing them what you can do. They'll determine if you're a good fit. So don't take yourself out of the running. Think big and go after it. Let them tell you no and let them not reach out to you. That's my advice to
Period.
you.
Period. And for the folks at home, we all have different skill sets, like you said. I know that a career coach may be very frivolous or just something that people don't think about because what do you mean I went to college? Or like, what do you mean I work every day? I have been working for years and years. What do you mean I need someone to teach me how to have a career? I'm in my career, but it's a different skill set. When you learn a different skill, you get a certification, you get a degree, that teaches you how to do a specific thing. So now you're qualified to do a job. Woohoo. But now there's another battle of there are thousands, maybe millions of other people who could also do that job. So how do you set yourself apart? The act of marketing yourself professionally and making yourself, putting yourself in situations where you're the first pick for opportunities where is a lot of competition. That's what a career coach is good at. So I can't braid my own hair. That's another skill set that I outsource out. Just like some
Right.
people may have a little blind spot when it comes to their career. So getting a career coach, there's nothing dishonorable. It's not cheating to get a career coach. Why not? Like, I don't, what's another thing I can't do? I can't sew, so I go take my clothes to a tailor and maybe I could watch a YouTube video and try to DIY it. But I just want my clothes to look nice and fit into
Right.
my body. So
Right.
just reach out to someone like yours truly. Thank you,
Yeah,
Efrika.
I think a career coach can open your mind to the possibilities that you may have not recognized was available to you because you're stuck.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So they're like, yeah, sure. I want to find a 100% remote job. I want to be remote, blah, blah. I want to like a job that pays a dignified wage. I don't want to be a nanny abroad or work at a coffee shop abroad and throw away my whole career that I worked so hard for and my earning potential. But there is an investment for my program. Right now, it's in the mid four figures for 6 months of coaching for the private one-on-one coaching retainer experience. So let's just talk about the investment. A lot of people are nervous about spending upwards of 6,000 USD on something like a career coach. How did you personally justify that decision to yourself at the time?
I wanted what I wanted. And seeing your messages, it not only intrigued me, I felt it in my spirit that it was something that I could accomplish and I can get with your help. I knew that I needed to outsource some of the things I just wasn't confident in doing myself or understanding what I need to do to pivot because I know I needed to pivot because I did not like what I was doing. I just kept looking for business analyst jobs because that's what my resume said. I didn't know how to move forward in a different direction because I felt strongly after looking at your videos and reading on your website that you could help me with that. It was a no-brainer for me. I was also in a financial position to do it. Um, and I say that because I recognize everyone does not have the finances. Everyone's financial situation, circumstances are totally different. Um, for me, it was time. I had a number of things that I called challenges that I knew I needed. I lacked the confidence to move forward on my own. Also, I lacked the knowledge. I didn't know what to do next. And so I needed that. And that was an easy investment for me. You know, traveling is one of my number one priorities in life. And it's my number one happiness almost pretty much. So to continue to do that with more freedom with a job, it's obvious that I need a 100% remote job. Easy investment for me.
Thank you. And for the folks at home, I don't take that lightly. So I really do hope that you had a wonderful experience and a knowledgeable one and one that also doesn't leave. I talked about this before with you and others. A vacation comes and goes, but when you invest in yourself, the knowledge that we learn together, it will not leave you. You don't have to like chase another high. You have the framework, you have the concepts that we talked about. And so you can apply that with this job search. Maybe in like 10 years, if you want to change it up, you can do it again. So this is something that is very long term, the benefits. It stays with you forever. Um, but if we get into the nitty gritty, I also would like to know, would you say that you got a return on investment financially or otherwise from our time together?
Yes, I'll reiterate what I said. And another question of yours is that I've been using LinkedIn and other job sites looking for a job. Of course, it was senior business analyst because that's what my resume said. Um, and I wasn't getting anything, not one response at all. It's just out there in la la land. I would apply nothing. The moment that I revamped my resume and changed my mindset, that changed. The end result has still not been achieved, but but it's not a loss. It's wins. There are so many wins in this. And the biggest one is my mental stability. Those mental challenges have greatly improved. Like I, yeah, that in itself, because most of what we do is mindset. You're going to have a challenge, but how are you going to react? How are you going to act to it? How are you going to act? You know, how are you going to react towards it and how are you going to act to fix it or was resolve the issue, whatever it is. It's all about mindset. And so also if you're being negative toward yourself or thinking negative about something, you're going to get negativity. Gotta build your confidence. And that would just build my confidence or being confident in pivoting.
I'm happy to hear that. And, the journey's not over. So I hope we can come back in
Right.
the near future and be like, oh my goodness, I got this opportunity, Christina. You're the first person I told. It's just a matter of time. And the last thing I'll say on like the investment and things like that is I know people said like you were talking about, yeah, it is a pretty penny. But what I have to say about that is true, and I do take that very seriously. People they may have to sacrifice a vacation to pay for this coaching for the end goal of being able to live a life that they don't need a vacation from. And the
Right.
reason I say that is because to be able to make decent, like good money, 100K in the US is great. Imagine if you're abroad, even in countries where it's not like a big difference in the strength of currency. So to make this type of money, six figures, to be able to be 100%, to be able to not have to rush a vacation and try to sightsee every single day because you can't go back or you don't have to have the post vacation blues. That's an extraordinary life that people have the opportunity to make, which is not something that everyone can do. And I say that because in order to live an extraordinary life, you have to do things that ordinary people won't do. So I know people may think, oh, like I don't want to, I'm on the fence, but when coming from myself, when you do get to that point, you're like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine living another way. I couldn't imagine being stifled. So once you get over that hump, decide to invest in yourself, your mindset, tangible strategies. We talk about a lot of tangible strategies over here. It's not woo-woo all the time. Um,
Right.
you will get to a different place. So I
Yes.
have more questions for our lovely guest, Efrika. What surprised you the most about working with me or being in the program? And this doesn't have to be a specific concept, but just it could be that or my essence or just having a career coach in general.
Mm. And it wasn't that difficult to point out your skill sets, point out my skill sets to pivot to the career I want to pivot to, as I made it out to be. I didn't know how to look for. I didn't know what to do, what the next steps was, or how to look for the specific skill sets to pivot and what to pivot into based on my current experience and what will make the more ideal transition. Um, that surprised me the most. It easily surprised me the most because we didn't take long figuring that out. And I didn't have a clue how to get started for it to happen so quickly was a little surprising for me.
I try. It's easier for me to have an objective point of view. So I'm happy that that change happened quickly. And then the final question for the folks at home. Can you please complete this sentence? Because of this program, I now dot dot dot.
Have the confidence and mental stability to continue to move, push forward, and go after what I desire, which is 100% remote. job that allowed me to travel and work anywhere in the world, paying a decent figure, 6 figures.
Yay! From your lips to God's ears. Well, yay, that portion of the exit interview thingy is done. Thank you, Efrika.
You're welcome, Christina.